Hey, it's MK, and I am here with week 3's kit, and this one is a Pretty Little Studios 49 and Market mashup. Well, it's mostly Pretty Little Studios, and then I threw in a couple close to my heart things that I felt like matched. This is definitely one kit that Janet and I really struggled to put together because my papers are different than her papers, but it shows that you can still get the same look with those papers. So I just wanted to share my kit with you guys as I dump it out, and then I've got all my little trays in front of me as well, so it won't go back into this baggie at all. And then that way I can see everything and play with everything. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put all of my embellishments off to the side really quickly and get to the goods, right? Get to the paper. The paper is what really does all the work for us, in my opinion. So we did put in a couple, I've got a scrap here too. We did put in a couple small sheets. I know Janet has a lot more of the 8.5 by 8.5 than I do, so I have a lot of scraps. And then I also have a couple papers in here. I think I left them in here that I wanted to use up because they either match the collection or they're really hard for me to use, and so I wanted to challenge myself. So this one is based off of the Grateful Heart collection by Pretty Little Studio. That is where we based off of all our colors and where we got all of the extra paper. So in this collection you can see this gorgeous tealy blue color, this brown gray color, a little bit of mustard yellow, some peach, and then this fuchsia, or I think it's fuchsia, but it goes down into a purple. So if you can see, it's got a wide range of colors, especially for me to play with, because you guys know I'm not a pinky pink person. So I've also got white on one side for all of the Pretty Little Studios. I love the fact that she offers that because then I don't have to decide what side of paper. I only have the one side. I love that. So this is another little scrap from that same piece of paper. I've got two 8.5 by 8.5 or 8 by 8s. Let me look. Yes, 8 by 8s is what they are. I've got this rainbow striped wood grain, and then I have this wood grain, what is that called? Gingham. I think it's what it's called, is a gingham wood grain. I think it's awesome. Now I had two of these dark wood grain solids, but I already used them up on a layout because they were awesome, not gonna lie. So from Stampin' Up, I have this sheet of paper here. I'm not even gonna worry about the backside. I will share it with you guys, but this is the reason why I picked it, because if I look at this one piece of paper, look at how well it blends together because of the peach and the purpley pink colors. So it just blends in really, really well. So I have this one piece. I do not remember the name of this, but I believe it came out last year, and it's got a gold foil on this side. Y'all know I'm not going to use this side. Look how pink that is. Nope, nope, nope. So I'm going to use this side. It's got very little pink in it, a lot of this orange, so I love it. So being on the orange side, this also is from Stampin' Up. It's like a watercolory background orange color, and then the other side is just this gold foil. I don't know if they're from the same collection. I'm going to assume they are, but I do have a lot of orange. And then from 49 and Market, I believe this is from Spectrum Gardenia. Spectrum Gardenia. I have this orange solid paper number 1, and then it is a mottled orange. It almost looks like it's got yellow spots in it as well, some, but not much. I can just tell the difference in that. So I love that. And then because I did not have this wood grain here, I found this wood grain from Minte. I actually have 2 sheets of it because Janet has 2 sheets of her 8 by 8. So I brought in both sheets. This is from the Antique Shop from Minte from 2023. So I don't know if this is still available or not. The other side looks like this. Nice little Antique Shop. This actually excuse the traffic, you guys. I have my door wide open. I am loving this weather lately, so I'm gonna soak it all in until it goes bad again. But this looks like every antique shop I've ever been in. It really, really does. So I've got 2 of those pieces of wood grain, and then this is where I throw in some Close to My Heart. I really liked this. It's upside down, I apologize. I think they all are. I really did like this newsprint right here. It went with the antique line. It goes with this. If I bring it in a little bit, the blues kind of tone on tone match, but these are a little bit lighter. And then of course the yellow is a lot lighter as well. And now I'm adding in a little bit of green, but this for most part is black and white. I really did like that. And then to show you the other side, it is this black and white. Again, it matches really well with this floral piece too, because the leaves are similar, as well as the flowers. The type of flowers match this kind of flower right here. So I really do like this one. And then of course I brought in basically the whole collection. Now this is close to my heart. In Full Bloom. Let me just flip everything because I have a feeling it's all going to be. So this is In Full Bloom. It's from 2022. It sold out super fast, you guys. I had just the one kit and I only used this much of it. Just very little. So I really felt like this was a good collection to bring in. And if I bring this piece of paper back in, because this was our inspiration, at least this is what we pulled all the color from. I believe Janet has a full 12 by 12. This is all that I have left of this one. But as you can see, the blues go really, really well. It's just a lighter version of what I've got here. But with this one, you've got the light and the dark. So it's tone on tone on tone, along with a little bit of white going on there. So this is the side that I wanted to pull, but the other side is again pulling in some green. I've got some green stripes going on, and I think that's what Janet pulled in as well, as some green stripes. And then I've got this gorgeous blue ledger. I believe this is from Close to My Heart Mix In collection. It is not part of the In Full Bloom collection, but it says Mix In 2020, and I don't know, that's all it just says. Normally, before they closed, it would tell you the date range of when they mixed this in, so you could kind of keep it. But this is a nice light gray, just a weird design. I don't know what you'd call that design. Just a sketchy design. And then the other side is that blue ledger paper. Okay, and then here I've got this awesome polka dot. So I brought in, let me bring this back in. So I've got this yellow right here, and now I brought in a yellow, and it's very light pastel yellow because it is from Mix In, and this one says from March to April of 2022. This one was from 2020, okay? And then, like I said, it is a very, very pale yellow. Okay, oh, it shows up really well on camera there. Nice and close up. And then the other side is a hot yellow, like a total mess. Doesn't match at all. So I'm going to flip it over and use this yellow right here. Maybe bring in some inks because that's what I like to do. And then here is a big giant collage paper. Now clearly I would not use these two papers together. That just clashes. I just can't do it. But I brought this paper in because it went with the rest of my Close to My Heart collection, just like so, right? And of course, you know, if one paper leads to another paper, which leads to another paper, I'm pretty sure you could put your entire stash together and it be one giant, huge kit because one paper would lead into another paper. But that's where this came from. Again, In Full Bloom is what this one is. And then I've got this gorgeous gray on the other side. And it does go really well with this because, like I said, the leaves and flowers and things match this one as well. They're just not colored in. So I really like both sides of this. I'm not really sure if I'll use this side because it is my colors. Like these are perfect, but this side is also an option as well. Okay, then again, another lead-in. If I bring this paper in, look at these gorgeous stripes. It is again from Close to My Heart. It's from True Love 2019, you guys. Whoop, dating myself. But look at this. Is that not a perfect match? And again, I'm bringing in that green, but it's a perfect match. Like perfect blue, perfect purple, perfect mauve colors and all that good stuff. I love it. And then the other side is this gorgeous, again, a perfect match to Grateful Heart collection. And it's this mauve pinstriped little plaid going on here. I don't even know what you would call that, but it is awesome. Love, love, love it. And then back to Grateful Heart. Oh, keep doing this. I've got this gingham color right here, and it's like the tealy blues, and then bringing in that bright fuchsia, and then a couple little purple bits going on single-sided because we don't worry about the other sides. This one here is bringing in some more of that blue. It also brings in this blue. See, check it out. It matches, right? All these tones are the exact same tone color. This is from 49 and Market, I believe. Spectrum Sherbet going on, and this one's actually called Blueberry. So we've got a gardenia and a sherbet being brought in, and we brought it for the solid. But if I need to, I can use this watercolory painty blob. But I like the solid. I like also the fact that it matches this Grateful Heart paper right here. This is Grateful Heart, but this browny grayish right here, and then the darker bit brings in the wood grain. See if I bring in that wood grain. Look at that. Now I've just totally changed this entire collection. But if I bring this piece in, look how much I've changed it again, right? Take out that brown, bring in this black, because this is like a black, but if you bring in the brown, now it turned into a brown. Take it out, bring in black, it turned into a black. It is fabulous. I love it, you guys. But totally changed the tone of this by bringing in this, but bringing this back in, I've changed it again. So now I've got masculine and feminine going on. Okay, and then last but not least, from Wildflower Pretty Little Studios, I have another dictionary paper. It again brings in all the colors. I've got the fuchsia color, the purple color, the yellow, and the tealy color, and then of course it's on this gorgeous dictionary paper. So I've got all the colors. I even can bring in this piece of paper. Well, actually, yeah, bring them all in. I just love it. Look at that. I would probably, see, this is really hard because of, there we go, look at that. I just bring it all in and it just works. I don't know how it does it, but it just worked. And I could have kept pulling, and then I finally decided, no, stop, because this is way more paper than I could ever use in 1 week. 6 layouts is all the opportunity I get because today is day 1. I'm sharing my kit with you guys, and then of course tomorrow starts the actual official. I'm missing a paper. Huh? Anyways, I'll find it. I promise. Ooh, was that it? It is. Okay. So what I have over here, I've got this Plum Grove Laser Cut Wildflowers. So I've got a couple of these flowers. They go towards the purple side. They bring in a little bit of green, but mostly they are the same colors, especially this rusty color right here. There's not a whole lot of that, but it's in the collection because look, Grateful Heart, and there it is right there. So it brings it in just a little bit, leads more towards the oranges and the peaches. I also have the Spectrum Gardenia Cluster Kit. I don't have a whole lot left in this kit, you guys. It is almost used up, but I thought I'd bring it in and see what I could play with it because of all the different colors. The tealy blues, the purples, the pinks, the greens, the blacks. I can bring in all those colors and build something with it. I also brought in this Spectrum Gardenia laser cut piece. This one too is also, I think all my purples and browns are used up, but I could use the yellows, I can use the blues, there's a couple purples, and then of course the pinks, should I choose to use pink this week. Yeah, write that in your calendar. And then, of course, the Spectrum Gardenia. I've got the ephemera bits. I don't know how much is in here. There might also be a little bit of the laser cut pieces that I pulled for another layout, and then I didn't use them, so I put them in. There might also be fussy cutting in here that I hand cut to use for a layout as well. I don't know. I just know there's a lot in here, and I might still have some of this to use. I was looking for a designer, but there's no designer. All right, so I also have, oh my stars, how many times can I say I also have? These are little laser cut pieces left over from Close to My Heart when they did the, what was that one called? In Full Bloom. So that's where these little black butterflies came from. And then the white piece and this black piece that you see right here, that was from little pieces I cut out from the advent calendar from last year. So they just ended up in here because why not? Because they're black. From Wildflower, I have 2 of these floral pieces. One is called Garden Blooms. The other one is called Wildflower Stem. And then I've got a little bit left in here. I don't have a whole lot because I have used them. So I don't know what exactly is in there. From the Grateful Heart collection. Now, I've got a couple of these. This one is some of the clusters. They're floral centerpiece. Whoa. Oh, and laser cut pieces on the back. I didn't know that. But I know I don't have all of these pieces in here, you guys. I've just got a little bit left, but I know that there's not a whole lot. Plus, look at that extra little piece of paper I have down there. That's cool. Okay, labels and things. This one is called Sweet Spice Labels. I know I don't have a full package of this either, but I will use what I have. And then this is full of leftover pieces of these, which are the floral centerpiece, as well as some shimmers pieces. These vellum pieces are from Rosie Studios. The black pieces are from the Close to My Heart In Full Bloom laser cut pieces. There's some more of the labels in there that I see. And then I think this one was a fussy cut from another, I don't know what the name of that is called. Anyways, I don't know, you guys, but lots and lots and lots. I just picked it up and threw it in. I will see what works. And then here from Spectrum Sherbert, I have these little paint swatches. I thought those would be kind of cool to add in as well, especially if I need to add a little bit more orange or a little bit more yellow, things like that. I've got all the colors in here. So I've got them all cut up inside there. And then I've got some floral rub-ons as well that look like this, but I know most of the sheets are gone. What I saw briefly was just this one. I think I've used pretty much all the other sheets, if I'm being honest. I think all I have left looks like a lot of the green and then a couple little pieces cut out. I don't know what they are. So we will see, but mostly I brought it in for the paint swatches, okay? And then I've got some Flair. So here are, man down. Here are the Flair, the shiny ones, these little shiny ones. They are from the Grateful Heart collection by Pretty Little Studio. So I have almost, I think I have the whole collection. I think there were 6 in the collection. So I have almost the whole collection. And then from Pear Tree Cut Files, I have these ones, where they're all little cameras and butterflies, but they have all the same colors in them. So I brought in a couple of those. I think this came in a 6-pack as well, but I only picked out 3. My wood veneer. I have quite the collection of wood veneer for all of this. Like, this is a big kit for 1 week. It's huge, right? So I have all these little tickets and things. These are leftover from my first 2 weeks, right? I've been using these and using these and using these. I have one little lonely star left. I don't know why I have just 1 star. That's just random. I have all these little drips and splatters and things. So I've got these little drips and splatters. Now these little splatters, these are awesome because they fit right behind the flare. So then I can make the flare look like it got messy or looks like I dropped it accidentally in paint. Or something like that. So I've got all these really cool drips. These ones here are for those giant enamel dots that nobody ever knows what to do with. That's what those are for. I have tons of ice creams and sundaes and parfaits and all that stuff. So yummy, yummy, yummies going on here. And then I've got these little guys. Now these guys are awesome. I'm not gonna lie. This was a cool idea from Janet going on here. I've got this little banner piece right here, and it's got 5 little banner pieces, but my hand's not that big. And then in between the banners, you've got all these little flaggy things to make it look like the banner is full of fluff, right? Or you can turn the pieces over and turn them into party hats. Look at that. Is that not the coolest idea ever? I love versatile little pieces like this because we don't have a whole lot of celebrations here, especially with birthday cakes and parties and things like that. But I do love putting a banner on my page. I also have this Vacation Calories Don't Count, Yummy Goodness, which it spells goodness here, but I don't have enough time to actually spell out all the words. But they're separated, so you could use yummy on one layout and goodness on another, even though it's actually called Yummy Goodness, right? So I just did that. And then last but not least, I have a whole bunch of streamers party streamers, fun little blow up streamers. You can celebrate, do whatever. And then of course all these little stars, because you know, who doesn't like just confetti, right? So I've got that going on. That is all, whoop, you don't go there. That is all that I have as far as my wood veneer, as far as my die cuts, my flare, my labels, my laser cut pieces, my rub-ons. I mean, I have a ton of stuff. So I am going to get going on all this. I have lots of photos to go print. Actually, I don't, because this is very pink to me, right? So I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to print and figure out what it is I'm going to be creating with this amazing kit that can go any direction. I mean, like I said, depending on which papers you put together, the sky is the limit here, you guys. And so we wanted to make sure that we had enough embellishments and things like that to be able to celebrate, or not celebrate, I'm sorry, to be able to create whatever kind of layout that we see fit with such a huge, bright collection. All right, I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna go create. I'm gonna go have fun, and I will check you guys all later. Bye.